Should the minimum voting age be lowered? Ocasio-Cortez went on a late-night Twitter rampage that has everyone laughing at her today. Over the weekend, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Stalin DNY ignited a Twitter firestorm when she questioned Ivanka Trump's qualifications for office. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "It may be shocking to some, but being someone's daughter actually isn't a career qualification. It hurts our diplomatic standing when the president phones it in. The world moves on. The US needs our president working the G20. Bringing a qualified diplomat couldn't hurt either." As you might imagine, the whole thing blew up in AOC's face when Twitter users pointed out that her own background as a waitress isn't exactly a high qualification for a sitting congresswoman. But the story doesn't end there. Ocasio-Cortez then fired back at her critics by going on a late-night, rage tweet session that has everyone laughing at her this morning. First, she insisted that her qualification for office isn't just the fact that she's a former waitress. Apparently, she also won some science fair award or something while in school. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "As always, I'm proud of my work in restaurants. I also worked for Senator Ted Kennedy, piloted literacy projects in the South Bronx, studied development economics in Africa, served as an educational director, won international science competitions before I ran for office, too." But seriously, her list of accomplishments here is nothing to brag about, and certainly doesn't qualify her over Ivanka Trump. Publishing your very short resume on Twitter isn't exactly going to win over your critics. Especially when the first thing on your list is, "I once worked for someone who once killed a woman." Oh, and what about those literacy projects she once worked on? AOC, you may not be the best person to teach our children how to read. Just a thought. But her rage tweeting didn't end there. Nope, not by a long shot. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "Working people that GOP dismiss as just a waitress, cook, etc. contain multitudes, are just as capable intelligent as anyone. Classism, judging someone's character by their income, is disappointing to see from them. What is so appalling to GOP about having an honest job? So, turns out being a former waitress really is a qualification for holding higher office. And if you disagree, you're a dirty classist. Nobody in the GOP thinks that hard work is a character flaw. Quite the contrary, in fact. It's just that AOC really stepped in it when she attacked Ivanka Trump for being unqualified when her own qualification for Congress is knowing how to mix drinks. Her critics weren't attacking hard work. And they weren't attacking waitresses. They were attacking the millennial Stalinist who thinks there must be something wrong with you if you don't agree with her. You must be a classist. Because of course. But we're not done yet. Nope, the evening was only just getting started. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "Some of the most nuanced, intelligent, grounded people I've ever met weren't at BU, MIT or Harvard events when I was a student. They were the plumbers waitresses I hung out with at happy hour, who had ferocious intellectual curiosity and a lived context of the real world." Blah, blah, blah. Again, nobody was attacking hard work. They were attacking AOC for making a bad argument and taking a dumb political potshot at Trump's daughter. But somehow this translates into the GOP hates plumbers. What about Joe the plumber? Remember him? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "In other words, Republicans who criticize my being a waitress as evidence of lacking skill can take their classism to the trash. You are insulting the capacities and potential of virtually every working person in America for having experience that's earned, not bought. Stop using working people as a shield. Stop calling everyone who disagrees with you a racist, or a sexist, or a classist. Stop virtue signaling. And stop rage tweeting." Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "And that's if they even take out their own trash, which I doubt. And learn when to stop when you're behind. Less is more, AOC. Less is more.